Yeah, welcome to the Football Exponential Podcast. I'm Chika. I'm joined by Frank.
Hi, Chike. Hi to our listeners. Thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Yeah, today we're not going to waste time. Let's quickly go. Um, Frank, Jack Grealish appears to be enjoying his football again at Everton under David Moyes.
Yeah.
Why did you think he struggled at Manchester City?
Well, it's
If if you're watching us, please smash the like button, subscribe, drop your comments or questions. Yeah, Frank, over to you.
yeah. I think I'll be straightforward with this one. I just think the move from a club like Aston Villa to Man City is a big one, and I know a lot of players make that move successfully, and I think Jack Grealish is one of those players that when you get to that top level, like when talk about Man City, like guys going for the Champions League, the Premier League every season, that level, competing against the likes of Sterling, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Kevin De Bruyne. At that top level of football, I don't think Jack Grealish was ever ready for that. I don't think he belongs at that level. A lot of people will disagree, but I just say it. And
Because he's over, I think he's 29 right now, or he's 30.
yeah,
He's close to that. So if he doesn't belong now, I don't think he's going to belong again. So to say at that time, I don't think he has to be that time. That means he wasn't at that level at that moment, or at that he won't be at that level. Because I was checking his stats at Manchester City, the last two seasons at City, 20 Premier League games, one goal, one assist. The last 2020, what was that, 2020, just say his last two seasons at City, 20 games, one goal, one assist. The second one, 20 games, three goals, one assist. At Villa, he had 26 games. His last two seasons at Villa, he had
yeah,
26 Premier. All these are Premier League games. I
yeah,
go with the Premier League, not really across all competitions. At Villa, 26 Premier League games, 6 goals, 10 assists. His last season at Villa. Second to the last season at Villa, 36 games, 8 goals, 6 assists. You go to Everton right now, he has played 7 Premier League games, 1 goal, 4 assists. So even though he's not scoring like he was when he was at Villa, you could see the assist already. 4 assists in 7 games is a lot.
yeah.
So that means he's almost back
And
to his Villa form. Yeah.
yeah, and I think it's also important to add like this. The Aston Villa team Jack Grealish was playing in. It's not the current Aston Villa that are Champions League candidates every
Yeah.
season. Unai Emery, better players in that team. It was a very different Aston Villa team. I think was it Gerrard or before Gerrard?
I think it
Before
was
Gerrard
before
died.
Gerrard. It was
Yeah,
I forgot the guy's name. Forgot
yeah. I
his
think
name.
it's yeah. I know the
He
guy. I know the
brought
guy.
them back with Terry.
Yeah,
They came up
yeah.
together from relegation. Yeah.
Yeah, but I also think again, like because with football, it's a constant evolution, just not on the pitch, but also mentally here and with players. Not at the same with coaches and with players, where if you get to a level, you need to evolve and get to that level, catch up at the level you're playing in. Like the guys that play at Barcelona. See, take a Rafinha for example, who goes to Barcelona from Leeds. He has a couple tough seasons. Then the manager comes in, changes the style they play, is more settled, and he has an explosive season where he's to some people a Ballon d'Or candidate, not me,
Yeah.
but to some people a Ballon d'Or candidate. And but you see, like everyone that's spoken about Rafinha in the last year or so, they talk about how he's embraced the club, how he's embraced the hard work on the pitch and off the pitch, and how he's evolved his game to something else. And that's what you have to do at this level. You have to keep on striving for success. And I also think at City, particularly after City won that treble, I think City as a team, they've been on a downward spiral. And Jack, as I think Jack is also a symptom of that success they had. And it's not to take anything from because I think he's a very fun player to watch. He's a player that I enjoy watching. Like even games, even now Everton with Kieran Jusbury Hall and Ilman Ndiaye. That's a very exciting mid attacking lineup. Well, but again, I just think the relationship with the manager as well. I don't know how we don't know how the relationship was behind the we don't know how the relationship was. We don't know how the relationship was behind the scenes, but I don't think Pep was his biggest fan,
Then why
so
did
to
he
say.
spend such amount of money on him? What do you think? You think he was a club
But that's a.
signing?
I think it's more a club signing, and I think particularly if you look at it at the time which they signed Grealish, they also signed Calvin Phillips from Leeds as well.
Yeah,
And I think this is what I think City have done this step because they try. Obviously, you try to get your homegrown status,
mm,
homegrown quota met at the same time. We also try to get England internationals in your team the
mm,
best way possible. And at that time, you can't. You already have Foden, you already have Stones, there's Skywalker, and you can't. They tried to get Harry Kane, they didn't get Harry Kane.
mm.
You can't get a guy like say who else was there? Jude Bellingham was there. All those other guys. You can't get those guys, but the guys that are gettable that were at slower teams, Jack
Yeah,
at Villa, Calvin Phillips at Leeds. You make moves for those two guys, and I don't think it's coincidental that those two guys didn't have. I know to varying degrees of success on the pitch. I think even Calvin Phillips never really got going at Man City, and I
yeah.
think it like because even if you take it back a
And is he
long
still
time
at
ago,
City?
I think he's still there.
His career is gone. Like,
No, I know, but I think if you take it back a few years ago, a long time ago, I think there's a period after City won the Premier League title, trying to do the same thing, trying to buy young English talent into the team.
hmm,
They went for a Jack Rodwell from Everton
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and a Scott Sinclair at Swansea. They bring those two guys into the team and they just
He
basically
just
fall
he don't
off
do well. Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's just not that level is
They're
different.
not at that level.
Again,
Yeah, yeah. City level
and
is something else.
and again, it's not just a Jack Grealish situation. Like I think another one is probably Sean Wright. I think Sean Wright Phillips is another big example of this, where your start a Man City team, you go to a Chelsea team where you are part of a collection of superstars, and you struggle to make an impact. I remember, I think he went. I think he didn't score Chelsea goal for like I think six or
It was
seven
a long
months.
time.
It took him a long time, and
And
you
some
really
of the things I don't know if it has to do with the coaches is what made these players join these big teams. They join them and they don't do them. Because I remember Sharon Phillips was so fast, he could push the ball,
he was
he could accelerate. He came to City, he came to Chelsea, he never did any of
and
those. Yeah, he
then
couldn't.
he goes back to City and he looked like a different player there again. Like it's just one of those things. I think for I think for Jack it's just I always say I think for people like Jack Grealish and guys like Rashford for different reasons I always feel it's always important to play games and enjoy your football. And I think it goes to a point where at City he wasn't really enjoying his football. And
No, he
people say it's the manager and how the manager coaches and manager prefers very strict tactical schemes, no freedom on the pitch. He shackled him, as they say. But I just think all that just is over analysis of the situation. I just felt it just wasn't like because you see even Doku now. Doku's
wasn't.
had a very good start to the season at Man City. He's
Mhm.
not scored a lot of goals, but he's having an impact on the game. He's been very direct. He's taking on players, and I felt Jack was just too safe at City. He wasn't.
Yeah,
He was very. He
I
was.
wrote down some things I noticed. Change in role. At Villa, he was the talisman and chief creator. And then at Manchester City, he was a system player. At Villa, the entire team was built around him. He always gave him the ball. He made the solution. He was like the Steph Curry of Golden State Warriors, where the team
I,
or
yeah.
James. I won't even say Steph because most of the time Draymond Green assists so many. I would say Chris Paul, like a typical Chris Paul, who is the stereotypical point guard, like Magic Johnson, that the game rotates around. At Aston Villa, he was a creative. He had creative freedom. On paper, he played on the left, but I don't think he had a position. He always roamed around because I noticed he wasn't. He's not as fast as I thought. At City, I discovered he wasn't all that fast.
Mm,
He's not slow either, but he's not very very fast. At Villa, he was encouraged to roam around the field because if you notice at Everton also, he plays almost the same way with India.
yeah.
In Dyer, yeah, they have the freedom to go around the pitch. At City, his main job was just his position was defined. He was more of an attacking winger, and it was difficult for him to beat his man on that position. Then possession, which is also very, very important. And Villa, he could take risk. The coach didn't really think about losing the ball, but at Manchester City, the possession, keeping the ball was very, very important. If you want to take
Yeah,
risk, that
yeah,
means he has to come with rewards. And I
yeah.
think he loses the ball more than he he, he creates chances. And then out to focus at Villa, he was the one that was tasked with getting the goals or getting the assists. At Manchester City, I don't think because he had the likes of Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne who did that job. So I think his main job was, but it just tells you how recruitment is different from. But credit to him though, because all through his time in City, he didn't say nothing to the press. He was dropped. You
Yeah,
could see
yeah,
from
yeah.
his behavior didn't kick whatever. He didn't even go to the World Club Championship. He was always there.
He was
So
dropped.
yeah, he was dropped. It didn't work
Yeah,
out, but
yeah.
I like the way he conducted himself, and I'm happy he's enjoying his football. I don't think that he's that sort of a player, but at the same time, he's better than so many players in the Premier League. To tell you how much I rate him, I will have him in
Okay.
Chelsea uh,
Okay.
on that left
I
wing.
mean,
I'll,
yeah.
I'll have
Well,
I will drive to the airport and pick him on that left wing
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
at least he works
And
hard.
yeah, and also on the way to the airport, inside that same car to go pick up Jack, I'll have Ganacho in the back. Just
You
I'll have
haven't
him in the
gotten
back seat.
over it. You haven't
No,
gotten
no.
over your stuff with Garnacho. Like he's a Chelsea
I
player.
see.
Get over it. Get over it. You see how he's no
No,
longer
no, no.
United. No, no, no. I support him. He's
Okay, okay.
he's.
But okay, okay,
Maybe
okay.
I'll
But
buy one of his shirts for you and, and get him sign it. Let's go to the next one. Do you
yeah,
think
yeah.
Ange Postecoglou deserves more time at Nottingham Forest?
Oh yeah, 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 absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Because it's, I think, it was Andrew was talking about his last post match conference after the his most recent defeat against
Mm.
Newcastle. He was talking about like again, like we have to be like time is not. I understand like because again was asking for like a bit of patience, a bit of time, which I understand, and I think it's a bit harsh to judge a manager on how many games has it been? Six
Four
games.
Premier League games. That's all I know. I think six in total. No,
I
I
think
think it's seven. Four in the Premier
seven
League, one in
and
the F
two
Carling Cup, and then two
and two in and two,
European games. Yeah, I think seven in total. But I
and,
just
and
concentrate on the Premier League. Yeah.
yeah, and two European games. And again, if you put it into context, like okay, the first Premier League game was away at Arsenal. It's always a tough game. Like Arsenal are always a tough game. Then the most recent ones are
Nottingham.
away
No,
at
Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Tough game.
Newcastle. See, Newcastle are another tough game. Then I watched their first European game against Betis. They were amazing in the first. They were very good in the first half,
That's
but they couldn't secure the win. But also, you see giving away a 2 goal lead to a championship team, Swansea in the League Cup. That's not a good look. But I just feel like this it's too early to make any decision on his future right now. Because again, he hasn't got his present going yet, so he can't really. I feel he needs a lot of time, and I'm saying all this with the next Premier League game in mind. Chelsea away at Nottingham Forest. So I'm not trying to jinx it. I'm not trying to jinx anything, but I think Ange needs to be given a bit more time. He needs. I feel until the next international break in November. What do you think? I've lost Chica, but
I was having
yeah.
this thing built up from carrot, like I told you.
Oh
It
yeah, yeah.
went through the wrong track, so it was making me cough. So I went to get some
Get some read.
cough
Yeah.
this thing.
No, because I was saying I think right now it's too early to judge his Nottingham Forest tenure. I understand all the questions, all the grief he's getting, but I think it's too early to judge any manager. Like
Uh, the
it
problem I
hasn't
have
been
is
ten
that
games.
surprisingly, unlike me who always like to preach patience with managers, I'm pressing the exit button. I just feel
Just
I have to
you're
reset
sacking
is
him
a
now.
mistake. I'm sacking him. The problem is but it's easier said than done. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me
I
wrong.
know, no,
Hold
but
on.
also
Do you think he
yeah, go
deserves
on.
more chance? done more time at Forest. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
100%. But if you are in charge, do you think sacking him right now is the right thing? At the same time, two questions can be right. Yes, this is my problem with Ange. First of all, he recorded the most losses in 2024-2025. That most losses by a team that avoided relegation for the first time in history. 25 losses last season.
25.
He conceded more than any other team, with the exception that was not relegated, with the exception of Wolves last season. 65 goals. So every other person conceded less than him, with the exception of Wolves. That's if you take out, if you exempt those that went on relegation. At Forest, his winners in his 4 league games, their worst in permanent Forest coaches in over 100 years. That's different. I can understand. It could be with the opposition, but this is where I have a problem. He has conceded the most in his 4 games since he was appointed in the Premier League. 13 goals. So the problem I'm having is the trajectory. If you check his
Yeah,
if you check his Tottenham form, it's
he
like
followed
it
him
has
all the way.
continued. So that's the problem I'm
It's
having
long, yeah.
now. So I don't really understand why he was appointed at the first place. I'm not saying he's not good enough. I'm saying but also I give him credit though, which I think you're
Credit
right
for
in
what?
saying he's changed his style a little bit in his last game. Yeah. In his last game, he tried.
Okay, but okay, and this is where I'll comment, and this is where I'll push back, and this is where this is one of the things I found very, I disagree with the whole Ange situation, because a lot of people say, oh, he's a very attacking manager. They play attacking football, but they don't care about defending, so they will score a lot of goals and concede a lot of goals. But the problem is when you watch them play, you don't see that exciting attacking football. So they're not attacking well, they're not defending well. Because it's not like a Leeds, it's not like a Bielsa at Leeds or even a Vincent Company at Burnley, where that I know that's a bad level. But when you
No.
watch that Burnley team with company, you saw what they were trying to do on the pitch. They didn't have the quality of players to do it, but they were
Mm,
trying to play good football. They were conceding a lot of goals, a lot of mistakes, but they were trying to play football. But with Ange, even at Tottenham, like you watch some of Tottenham games, they could play for 2 hours, they won't score a goal. They were incapable of scoring a goal. And you still but I think fundamentally it comes down to if there's any owner right now for world football that can make that decision, that as crazy as it might sound, it's Marinakis. Marinakis can you know what, he can be crazy enough to fire Ange right now and go and try and get Nuno back. That's at West Ham right now. But again the question then comes, okay, if you sack him now or you decide to let him go, where do you go from this?
that's the problem. I think to be safe, I think thinking rationally, the best period to sack him might be December. If you give him from now to towards Christmas.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
to me, whatever happens to the end of the season, I'm sacking him at the end of the season. I'm just praying that he leaves me to this summer to end the season without getting relegated. The problem is his form. There was something I found. I think 40. As I put it in the group, I think 40 games or 42 games. He lost like 39 in December year. His form has been abysmal
No,
this year. It is so
it's
bad.
no, but again, you said this year, but I think the form started to tail off after the Chelsea game in the first season, where the Chelsea scored. Chelsea won by 4-1. They had two men sent off. Then he had that. They went through that highlight. Since then, like it's just been. If you, it would be interesting to see how many wins he's gotten since that period up until now, because I don't think it's a lot. And also it's also important to note that his last win came against our favorite Ruben Amorim.
I'm on
So so it's also important to say that.
uh, in that final, and he deserved it. They defended like funny enough. They didn't concede in that final. Was it Johnson, Brennan Johnson, or was Van der Vaart? That it was
It's
Johnson.
I think
Johnson. Johnson.
Johnson scored. Yeah,
Johnson. But Brad Van der Vaart cleared the ball off the line. There was a very
yeah. Van der Vaart.
important clearance that he had. Okay,
Yeah,
let's go to the next one.
yeah.
That should be all for and let's go. Do you think Crystal Palace can make the top 5 this season?
Top five. I don't think so, and I think that's not to do with the talent they have on the. Well, it's partly to do with the talent. I think it's more they are they are fighting multiple battles at the same time. They have a European campaign and play going along with the Premier League campaign. I don't think they have enough quality across those competitions to sustain 2 good campaigns. I think in the Premier League, had it just been a Premier League, no European commitment, I think they can make a top 5. They have because I think they have after Erling Haaland who started amazingly, I think they have the one, if not the best, one of the best strikers in the Premier League, one of the most effective strikers in Premier League, Mateta. And they have
I think with the exception of Haaland, he's the best striker in Premier League because you can't bring up Gyökeres. Those are new players. Those are we've not watched. We've not watched them. We have to. The jury is not yet out. He's a better striker than Joao Pedro. I think he's
even Ekiti, all of them.
Only Watkins hasn't been so.
Yeah.
So I think I'll say Mateta is the second best striker.
They have Mateta. They have one of the best defense as a unit in the Premier League, including the goalkeeper. Henderson, your guy, Lacroix.
Lacroix, yeah.
Yeah, he's been.
Lacroix, yeah.
Yeah, he's been.
And there's somebody else that they are not playing that they signed. I think they signed a very established. No, I'm mixing them up with. I think it was Brighton. There's a French guy that I think it was Brighton. Boss, it starts with BOS. I think it's Brighton that signed the French, not international, but highly rated French defender. I'm mixing them up.
I know the guy. I think he's Dutch from PSV
or something. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, well, so let's go back. But the problem I have with their team is the final third. Yes. Mateta can convert, they can play defense, but I would have loved them more if they had 2 very offensive, creative players like Eze, Olise, or
Ishmael Assar is that.
Yeah, it's good.
It carries a lot of not just like creative, but also carries. I think they have a lot of goals in that team. Well, when I say a lot, not like crazy amount, but they have like a lot of capable goal scorers in that team. Ishmael Assar is one of them. I know you're the new guy from Spain. Jeremy Pino hasn't.
I was surprised he started. Is he that rated? I was surprised he started.
No, it's good. Like he was. I was watching the Spanish national team. He starts for Spain. I know it's Yamal absent, but he's in the Spain national team. So I think, even if you watched him a few years at Villarreal before the injury, he's been a very promising attacking player. But even the other guy, one of my favorite players in Premier League, Munoz. He's the guy that knows that role to perfection. He knows the role of a wing back. He plays it amazingly. He plays it with intensity, creativity, and just he just doesn't stop running when he's on the pitch. And if they can keep McGahey for the full season, you can't tell. But I just feel
they can't sell him right now.
Again,
you can't sell him right.
Okay,
if you had doubts about keeping him with what you've already seen, you are not going to sell him because
he goes in January.
If he goes in January,
because I feel it comes to a point where between the club and the player, they find like, okay, you know what? I feel Crystal Palace are that kind of club that's okay. They understand that they can accept a bit of a mea culpa where we should have handled things better in the summer, and we've gotten your way of a big move in the summer. Let's try and make it happen in January. It could be Liverpool, it could be Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. I think they could probably sell to a European team outside the Premier League for a lot cheaper than they'll sell to Liverpool. Well, I just think again, I think even with him, I don't think he should be pushing for the move in January. But I understand they could let him go in January, but I don't think because he's a World Cup player, you need. I don't
think he's starting for England. That's the most important. If he wasn't starting, then maybe he will push for a move. But since he's starting for England, he's not pushing for a move.
Yeah, I think even speaking of it, I think right now in that back line, including the goalkeeper, I think after Pickford, he's the next name set. Like it's
Yeah.
Pickford,
Mm.
Gehi, and the rest figures itself out. So long as long as he's fit and in good form, I think he's been in excellent form for a very long time. But
Who
again,
was
like
the
if
replacement they signed for him? They didn't sign anyone
um they got a young guy, a young defender from France. I can't
from
remember the name
Toulouse.
quite.
Toulouse, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody
they
wanted
got
him. Yeah, from Toulouse. I
and
remember that
and they
story.
also have another guy, another centre back we signed last season. Um, um, Shadi from Barcelona, but he's been out for a long time. So I think they have the numbers, but in terms of the quality, the guy you're talking about, a guy that starts, that is a starter for England, you lose a lot of quality if you let him go. But again, but I think even if they can sustain what they have to January window, and they go again in January, it gets like we've seen, you can get like a player that comes in and just has an impact on that team because they have something going there. I think they have the right team spirit at that club. And again, even we've never mentioned for me the next £100 million midfielder in the Premier League, Adam Wharton. Like if
And to
they,
think that Thomas Tuchel, I checked the first of all, to me, I like Adam Wharton, but for England, I'll start with Lewis Anderson, right? Um, it depends on who you
yeah,
ask. I'm more of
yeah,
Anderson because I've seen Anderson more than I've seen Wharton, right? But I feel Wharton
yeah,
is
yeah.
good. So I'll start with Anderson. To me, I've told you
Anderson and
before,
Rice. Yeah.
and I know you've tried to debate it. I'm not starting Bellingham in that team. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
starting
Okay. Okay.
Anderson.
Okay. Okay. Let's take this topic to the next one. So let's talk England right now. And with the latest squad, there were a few noticeable absentees: Jack Grealish, Phil Foden, and Jude Bellingham
Hmm.
missing out from the squad, and also Trent Alexander-Arnold. And now you're saying, because I feel there's going to be a decision there in that midfield situation, that midfield
Hmm.
configuration. Foden, I think if there's any manager that is bold enough to do what you're saying, it's Thomas Tuchel. Like when
Hmm.
they say a manager does not give,
No.
it's his way or
Mm.
that's it. But I still think if England want to be a leading protagonist in the next World Cup, I think you need Jude Bellingham in that team.
No. So this is what I think. Let me give you an example.
Yeah,
I'm going with a 4-2-3-1, right?
yeah,
I could go with 4-3-3, but I've watched them. I think
yeah.
it's 4-2-3-1, right?
4-2-3. Yeah,
Now I'll go with the players I feel they've nailed their spot, right?
yeah.
Rhys
At this at
James,
this
Rhys
at this
James,
moment in time.
right
Yeah,
back, right?
yeah,
Guehi, centre back. The
yeah,
left back is open for debate. Whoever the other centre back is also open for debate. Pickford is my goalkeeper, right?
yeah.
So
Fantastic.
three spots taken, right back and then centre back, right? But when I mean Rhys James is my starting right back, that doesn't mean in some games I won't start Trent. So Trent is going to be integral. I don't understand. It depends. There are some games I
So
will shock
Trent,
everybody and start Trent. Depends on
so
what I need.
Trent,
It's
so Trent makes
important.
it. So
Yeah.
Trent is going to the World Cup.
No, 100%. Why will I drop this Trent?
Okay.
No, you'll be
Well,
crazy to
well,
say. You'll be
well,
people, they don't know football. You can't drop Trent. But it's just that race is too good. So you go to the
yeah,
midfield. My starting central midfielders, Declan Rice, he number one. And
yeah,
then he's playing as in the center. The second person to me, I thought in my head until I've watched it happen, is Elliot Anderson. He's starting in that position.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Elliot
He's
Anderson.
so,
But the likes of Adam Wharton can always come in and understand. I'm not saying
I
I
know,
will
I
not
know, I know,
start
I
the
know, I
first
understand.
game and Wharton benches Anderson. But you understand what
Yeah,
I'm trying to say.
yeah, yeah.
They are all good, but to me, I'll prefer Anderson with Declan Rice in that position. Then in the remaining attacking position, in the three midfielders, there is no reason in this world I'm benching
Mm-hmm.
Kopama for Bellingham. I'm not doing that. Behind the striker
Okay,
position,
okay,
except I don't know what I'm watching. Behind the striker
okay.
position,
I,
behind the
I,
striker,
I
because there's something you told me we've argued about. This playing players in positions different from their natural position just to have them in the team, it doesn't work that way. Saka
And
starts on
that's
the right. No one takes that right position from Saka.
I have it the other way
Bellingham,
around.
Bellingham
I
or Palmer in the center. On the left is open for debate. It could be Sinclair, it could be Eze. I don't know who
Ra-
plays on the left.
Ra-
Whatever.
Rashford, Rashford.
No, whoever that's open. Me, I'll go with my guy. You know, I'm a Morgan Rogers fan. Let's see what happens. He's just starting the season, but it's still far. But that's even if Morgan doesn't make the World Cup, I'm not I'm not losing sleep over that. It can happen. Hurricane up front, right? But behind the striker, because
Okay,
yeah,
okay. I understand, but don't you think? Because the problem I have, because again, I agree to everything you said. Like, but concerning Palmer is correct. But I think with when it comes to international football, I think the teams that are successful are the teams that nail one thing, and that's profiling. How you get the right profiles into the right positions at the same time, and also not sacrificing balance of the team. And that's not to talk about the off the pitch, because again, you need that chemistry, that's that team spirit in the team, of course. But you need to profile your best player as well. And the problem I have with that Kane number 9 and Palmer behind him is Kane always likes to drop deep when he plays for England. It has it has its positives and it has its negatives. But we've seen him is, and I think he's gotten older since the last tournament. He's always going to come short. He's not going to stretch the defensive line. And when you have Palmer who wants to create in those pockets, you end up clogging that position. I feel if you have Palmer and Hurricane in that same zone, I would suggest. I know people would disagree. I would suggest Palmer has to. I think Palmer should be starting if he's fit and on form. But I'll play Palmer on the right, and I'll play Saka on the left. Then I'll get
you just made a very brilliant. This is no joke. You just said
then
something I
then
never
then
thought about. When it comes to
then
finishing in the final third, I trust Bellingham more than I trust Palmer. No
then
matter how.
and also I'll get because I think with Jude has that. I know a lot of people have this opinion of Jude that is this, is that, is this, but I feel he has that. He plays with mentality. He has that resolute confidence in his ability not to not come through. Like you see, even at the Euros, the games where he didn't, in terms of his performances, he didn't have the best of Euro tournament. Very few English players did. But what he did was whenever he could, he turned up with big goals.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and in international tournament, that's what you need
That's
from
what.
big
That's
players.
what. It is. He
That's
knew
what
how
that's
to do this for years while I was
you
growing up.
need
They could have no matter the
it's
problem
you
during
need
the.
players with you need players, and that's him, like, because you talk about likes of Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes. If you look at these guys, yeah, they all had very. But when it came down to the big moments, the semi-finals, quarterfinals in World Cups, most of these players they froze. I don't know why. I don't know if because of the tactics. I don't know, but you need a guy like Jude in that team, because again, I think his confidence is inspiring on the team. So I'll go Jude in that number 10 with the ability to stretch, because he's a very is it his first year at Madrid. He scored over 20 goals playing as a quote unquote striker in that team. So
Mhm.
he can score goals in the box. He knows how to get into the box, and that also takes away the burden of Harry Kane being. You then free Harry Kane away where he can be that playmaker and the goal scorer when he needs to be, and you still have that balance of Saka. I know a lot of
But
Arsenal
is
fans will
Saka
hate it, but
comfortable playing on the left? Do you think he can end up playing
yeah,
on the
he can.
left?
Yeah, he can. Again, I'm not one that has issues with players. Again, I think he can. Like, this is why can I know he's been amazing on the right for us now. But if you are trying to get all these guys into the team, it will be. I think it will be tough. And I feel generally, I don't think we will likely see Jude, Palmer, and Saka starting together on the pitch with Harry Kane at the same time at the World Cup. A lot of times, it will
But
be
you know why?
depending on the
You
game
just said
states.
something that I wasn't thinking about that. You know, if you venture to do this,
Yeah,
I think it's going to be very rewarding. The reason why I think it's going to work out very, very well, if you had Jude, Saka, and Palmer, even though some people might think it's attacking overload, that's the, but three of them work real hard, extremely
yeah,
hard. They press, they rush the ball, they get the ball.
yeah, a
But
lot
the
of
problem
legs.
with the main problem with what you just said is if you have that formation, that means you might have Trent starting more than James.
No,
Because
it's.
because if
Okay.
if you look if you check the way Chelsea play, when it comes to stretching, I'm not comparing, right?
Yeah,
But the
yeah,
way
yeah. I understand what you're
Gusto
saying.
plays for Chelsea right now reminds me of
Gusto
Ashley Cole.
is more athletic,
When I watched
more
Chelsea with
operating the
Ashley
flank.
Cole, he was playing wing back, he was playing left back.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
watch the way Gusto plays also for Chelsea. Um, Rhys James doesn't play that way. Gusto is always forward, backward, forward, backward. So, but in international tournaments, it's different because it's just 10 games. So you can always give your all in 10 games. But do you think Rhys James will have that in him to tirelessly
Exactly.
work?
Then I think it will be a situation where you have to be very mindful of his physical contributions to the game. So you can. I don't think you want to start James because again, World Cup tournaments are the turnover from games to games is like I think 3 days, three or it's
Yeah,
less than 4 days.
yeah.
So you think you can start him in a game, then play the other one in another game, or give him. He comes off the bench, then you find a way to get that balance because you have to be. But again, it's not a bad option when you have James, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and even Livramento. Even if Livramento is fit, I think Livramento will probably start at left back if he's fit, or Mazda Skelly, those two players. But I say all this to say, I know Thomas Tuchel. There is no way in hell he's playing all these attacking players at the same time. Thomas Tuchel will he will find a way to put Henderson in that. It will be Rice,
It was
Henderson, and and and, and Anderson. But again,
a
I
fan
think
was
but
a
with
Crystal Palace fan was complaining about Adam Watson not making the team, right? Hold
no,
on. Let me finish.
yeah, yeah,
Not making the team. I was like, but Elliot Anderson, like the two are so good that anyone you decide to go with, right? I don't have a
yeah.
problem with that. But after the show, I went to the bench to watch those on the bench. I saw Anderson and Loftus Cheek. Like, hold on.
Henderson and Loftus Cheek. Yeah,
Hold on.
yeah.
Henderson and Loftus. I'm like, hold on. Like, I understand that he wants players who are experienced to transmit the
Yeah, yeah.
ideas or whatever to bring the, but you already have, let's assume you go with Dan Bond because I feel I think he should go to the World Cup. I don't know who they have right now. Like John Stones, to me, I'm not even. I'm so down
I
on John
don't.
Stones. Like, but the
I,
left, the centre back
I don't
position is
think.
something. I don't think
I don't.
Dambon will make to
I
the
don't
World
think
Cup.
Dambo. I don't think Dambo is a very good Premier League defender. I don't think he's an international defender, and
Yeah, I understand. But I'm just saying for
that's
the
okay to
local
say.
room. But the young players he has have so much experience that their age might be little. Saka,
Yeah,
this might be his third champ competition he's
I think
going.
probably his fourth.
Do you
Yeah,
understand? Those guys
this will
started
be
going very early.
this will be
Kane, Harry
the second
Kane
World Cup. Yeah,
is like how
yeah,
many he has got. To Bellingham,
sick.
like how many?
Yeah,
Palmer, how this might be his second
but it's
championship.
and
So they've had so many. I don't know when the Rice started going, but they've had a lot.
because yeah,
But are you
but
going
it's
with
also
Foden?
Foden, and this is where it gets controversial. I'm not going with Foden.
I'm not going with him.
I'm not. It's and again, this is you have to break. You have to understand at some point when it comes to international football, and I think English fans or English followers they struggle to get this concept where, oh, he's so good for the club, he has to go. He's so good for club, he has to go. All over history, particularly the French team, like the French, they've had a lot of amazing players for their club countries. For their club, like
Yeah.
take a guy like what's it called? The guy at United,
Cantona, they've had.
Cantona.
They've had.
He barely had an impact. Like he barely had an
Financial.
impact on the international team because to get Cantona going, you need to. There was then Djokovic,
Yeah.
Deschamps, all. So again, like you have to make that tough call. It's because I think if another team has fallen victim of this whole situation where you try and cram all your players into the team, you lose the balance. No one ends up playing well. It might become another Scholes, Lampard, and Gerrard situation where unless Foden is playing to a high level, and injuries could affect this decision as well. But I don't think I'm taking Foden to the World Cup because if I take him, it's not to say he's not good enough, but I know he's obviously good enough. But even if I take him, I'm not starting him because I don't want that distraction that comes with why is Foden not playing? Why is this playing over Foden? I want for the harmony of that camp, and that's where it comes to the guy like Henderson. Is a lot of managers want Henderson in that team because that is like a lieutenant
Mm.
amongst the squad. You need a guy that has like I'm not his biggest fan in terms of his quality on the pitch, but again, you need a guy like him in your squad.
No,
And
no,
a
no, no.
lot of
I've
and
never been a fan of him. But when I watched the way they respect him in Brentford, I was
no, no, but
surprised.
if, no, but it's not just Brentford, but even like because again, back to around that COVID period when there was a lot of uncertainties around the football world and just life in general. One of the leading figures in that period when it came to making decisions or bringing ideas to the table was Henderson in the Premier League. Where because when all 20 captains meet, they have conversations.
Mm.
Henderson was one of the driving figures behind everything they did. Even things like the kneeling before Premier League
Yeah,
games for Black Lives Matter, contributions to the NHS. All those it might not sound like much, but this is a guy that a lot of people respect
yeah,
on and
yeah.
off the pitch. So
And he
you have
grew
to give him
into
that.
it. I remember him in Sunderland. I remember him so well. So because I was Sunderland. I liked watching Sunderland because they had Sessegnon, the guy from
Yeah,
Benin. Remember, and Steve Bruce was their manager at the time.
yeah.
I didn't know he would be
They,
this, he will grow
no,
because they were two. They had another one from Aston Villa, Liverpool, had another one from Aston Villa, something Downing, Stewart Downing. Yeah, I think they
Stewart
came
Down.
together, but Stewart Downing
Which
never could replicate whatever he was doing from Villa.
and yeah, and to his credit, he went to Liverpool very young, and
Yeah, yeah.
he took a lot of blows. Was part of the
Yeah,
Liverpool
well,
team,
yeah,
and
yeah.
since. But I think when Klopp got to that team, he saw the energy this guy had in midfield. Like he never stopped running, and over time he grew to become again he's the first Liverpool captain in almost 30 years to win the Premier League, more than 30 years to win the
Mm,
Premier League title.
mm.
Like I know a lot of Liverpool fans love that Steven Gerrard, but Henderson brought it home, not Gerrard. But again, I think with the England conversation, I think it's because it's still like the World Cup is far away. It's still a lot of things are still to be determined. But I think the most important thing for them is not to get into this whole to repeat the errors of the past. That's Lampard, Gerrard. Because I was watching Gerrard talk on his interview with Rio Ferdinand on that podcast, and he basically did you see it?
No, I didn't watch it.
Because yeah, because one of the main points was like England that is the England golden generation of his time where egotistical losers and they felt they didn't really win enough or they didn't win because a lot of players could not put their egos aside for the team. There was no chemistry. Basically, a lot of players hated each other. Like they didn't
That's
spend
what
time together.
he was saying. He couldn't talk to his people. I'm
Yeah,
like, well,
like so like you're saying like the rivalries from they took the rivalries from United, Chelsea, Liverpool to the national team. They never really got on. Like he sees like he watches Carragher and Scholes on their show talking like best friends, and it was never this. It was never like this. Even Carragher and Neville, they were never this close when they were playing football. So I understand the point, but I think all of England fans need to let that. They should forget that. Like at that point in time, England were never the best team in world
yeah,
football.
yeah, yeah.
They had the best. They had some of the best players, but there were also other better
But
players. Like
I think it's Jordan mentality and maybe mostly it's popular with Jordan and to some extent Mamba, that's to
Kobe,
Kobe Bryant. But I don't understand how
R.I.P.
I need to be enemy with my opponent. I don't
No,
whatever
no,
happens in the
no,
field.
but it does though. No, no, because again, like it's
The
because
rivalry
you
is
need
it
to.
that serious where you can't
No,
talk off the
it is. No, because again, you need to. I think you need to remember who were the main. I'll say the main actors in this situation. It was guys like Fergie and as a winger. Those two never liked it. While they were competitively, they never liked each other. Then
yeah.
Mourinho comes in. Mourinho, Wenger, and Benitez and Ferguson. All those guys, they were very strong characters. They were very competitive. So I can understand how those because again these clubs they played each other several times during that period. So I can understand why there's a bit of tension between the Chelsea guys and the Liverpool guys, and it takes over to international team. And to be honest, even the Spanish national team, there was a time
Yeah, Mourinho did that also
when
with
when Mourinho was in Spain and
was
he was
serious.
he was going at it with those Barcelona guys.
And I
And
remember a statement from one of the players I respected so much, very quiet player, Very, very quiet, but he did his job. He wasn't talented, but I respect what he
Good.
achieved. He did his job and just does the job and goes on. It was something Abelua, Liverpool
Abel,
player.
Abeloa,
Abio
Abeloa. Yeah,
Abeloa.
yeah,
Yeah, he played
yeah,
for Real. He
yeah,
said he
yeah. I
was having
remember.
problems with Casillas for years, for over 3, 4 years. They never talked. They only talked on the field. I will never just Google it.
No, no,
I
no,
didn't know
but if
what the
like,
problem for Real
no, it was
Madrid. They were
bad.
playing for Real Madrid together, but they had I don't know where they what issues. But I have
Yeah,
to
no.
Google it. I think they accused Casillas. Okay, I think he was fighting Jose, but
So
then with the
let me
wife who was a presenter on the TV. But I
let me
don't
tell
know
you what
what it
happened.
was. Yeah,
No,
but I was supposed Abelua.
it was like Jose being the kind of guy is Jose is the kind of guy that will see fire and throw gasoline into that fire. So when the tension was peak between Barcelona and Real Madrid, because again that those days it
It
was
was
tough,
bad. Yeah,
and like he didn't like his guys fraternizing with the Barca guys because we're enemies. We can't be seen to. We can't
yeah,
be even when you go to national team. Don't get that close. And if according to a lot of stories, they're saying it was the friendship of Casillas and Xavi that kept that
yeah,
Spanish team together. And this because again, I think they grew up as close friends from a very young age. Like
yeah.
two of them, I think they had multiple conversations between themselves, between their teammates that we need to put all this BS to the side. It's for Spain. We need to achieve this.
Mhm.
And also, if you believe reports, it seemed Mourinho did not like that,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
how that's why he fell out with Casillas. Because again, there was a period where he started benching Casillas for no reason.
Yeah, yeah,
But
and they
no,
had something
no,
Lopez and
yeah,
something Lopez, Diego
And
Lopez. Yeah,
because again, that's where he's like the access like, oh, it's a technical decision. Diego Lopez at this time is a better keeper than Casillas, and this was when Casillas had just won a World Cup and a Euro tournament with Spain as
uh,
captain of the Spanish national team. So that's just how Mourinho operates, how Mourinho sees. I think Mourinho sees it as he sees football as a war general. It's not just on the pitch. It's more the psychological. How can you get the better of your opponent psychologically? And I think Casillas was one of the few people to go against him, and he punished him. So, but when Steven Gerrard is talking about egos, I
but you're
understand, but I
right. But
just
I
feel
think it's a British mentality because this is why I think it's a British mentality. If you check Scotland, for example, the old famed rivalry between Rangers and I've never heard anybody from Rangers say anything positive about somebody from Celtic or Celtic say something about me.
no, to this day, like if you put two retired guys on the talk show
Yeah.
from Celtic and Rangers, they're still that they're still
And I
they're
didn't
still,
notice it.
they're still
I
bump
didn't
heads.
notice. I don't see it with the French team. Sometimes I see it with the football with Saint Etienne. I think it's Saint Etienne myself a little bit, but it's
Yeah,
more of the fans or even with the
yeah,
German national team. I don't
but
know who's playing for Ballack. If you watch the national team, even when Ballack was in Bayer Leverkusen, you didn't realize it was in Bayer. I don't think. I think they were more unified in Germany or because even local Inter Milan and AC Milan. I don't think the rivalry extend to the national team.
I don't think so.
But you understand because if you
Yeah, yeah,
there's a goalkeeper, there's a popular, a very goalkeeper over the years that kept for Italy. What was his name? It starts with P. Paglialuca or something like that. He was Inter Milan goalkeeper for the France 90 USA 94 USA 94. He won the league title with Mancini and this Chelsea legend Vialli. So
at Sampdoria.
Sampdoria, yeah, he won. I think he won 2 titles in Sampdoria. Then he moved to Inter. He was a goalkeeper for Inter for years. But when you watch him with that back line, with the likes of Baresi and Maldini, you don't really feel. You think they're teammates. So I don't think the Italians had that problem. I don't think the French had that problem, and but the British people have that from Celtic to England. I don't understand it.
It's no, but again, I think like it's probably you're right. It's more a cultural thing where I think there's more like because if you lived in the UK, there's this kind of mentality of where again I could be wrong, but this is my sense of it. I feel it's
Yeah,
not just about I can't see you I can't see you doing well. I have to pull you down so
put it
that
on,
you
yeah,
can't
yeah,
get you can't get past your station, and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
and that leads to how they build up their players to tear them down. Where okay, you see, okay, oh Beckham is this, but hold on a minute. No, drag him down again.
Yeah,
Jude
yeah,
Bellingham is Jude Bellingham is because again, like you see, because I see what Jude is going through, and it's been there a little bit for the last months since that last tournament, where particularly in the media they portray Jude in a different light
yeah.
than Harry Kane, for example. Harry Kane is can't do wrong, but Jude is this guy who like, oh, is he a bit too arrogant? Is he a bit too this? Is he a bit too that? Is he a bit when they start talking about a player with and they talk more about his off the pitch
But
stuff
I
and
don't.
the perceived.
What I don't. What I dislike or irritates me is when they complain about athletes being arrogant. Because to me, arrogance is what made
You
them
have
who
to,
they are.
you have to be.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic is arrogant, right? So
It's
why do you praise people for being arrogant and then tear? That's the bad word for me. You can say a player is selfish,
no,
yes, but that word arrogant, because I've seen press praise players for being arrogant, like quarterback, right? You praise the quarterback for being arrogant, but at the same time you tear somebody down for being arrogant. That's what like Michael Jordan. Everybody likes him; he's arrogant. But when someone's, you understand what I'm trying, because
I
there's some
get you. I get
actions of
you.
Jordan that I'm like, no, this is excessive, right? This, but they praise him, they make it look like it's normal. But when somebody who maybe they don't like does it, they feel, oh, he's being arrogant. He's a cancer in the locker room. Cam Newton,
No,
oh, he's a cancer.
it's because again, I think the way they see it, they look at it as a zero sum game where if you're is it that we win, okay, fine. But if we don't lose, okay, we need to find somebody to pin all the sins of the team on. It was Beckham. It was never England got knocked out because they lost some penalties. It was Beckham did this or Wayne Rooney done this. And again, I know these players like the Beckham record and Rooney record is fair, but again, it's always the more high profile players in the team that receive a lot of flack,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah, yeah.
almost and in a way it's always unfair because I don't think other countries. I know a lot of countries are very tough on their players when it comes to international football, particularly the good ones. But I feel with England, there's this sense of it's more than football when they talk about these players. It's almost as if they don't want them to do well, so they can just turn around and say, we said it. He's
Yeah,
too
yeah, yeah.
arrogant. We will never win with him because it's too arrogant. Because again, like I said, if England are to do anything significant in this World Cup, they need Jude Bellingham there. I don't care about the Foldens. Even Cole Palmer. If it comes to it toss up between Cole Palmer and Jude Bellingham at the World Cup, I'm going with Jude Bellingham. It's not, and this is not a knock on Palmer. Palmer is a fantastic player, but I can't see how Jude has gone to Madrid, adapted to that because again, Real Madrid is a tough place to be. Like you've seen a lot of foreign players go to Real Madrid, particularly from a lot of British players go there, and they struggle at Real Madrid. But you have this guy who goes because again, Jude is still young. He goes to Madrid first season, and the way he goes there and embraces the culture, then but also embraces the pressure that because Real Madrid is a tough place to be at. It's
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, 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 yeah.
so you see how Real Madrid fans have taken to him. They love him there, but when it comes to the national team, he's seen as
And it
the
seems he enjoys it at Spain more than he does
of
at
course, of
England.
course, like, it's easy to see why he enjoys it because again, I feel like the top players, the top athletes, they thrive in those high pressure moments. They thrive in those games that it's not. That's why like even last season, for example, President did not become the legend he became in those Saturday Sunday games and
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
Spanish
yeah,
league or
yeah.
Italian. It was the bigger
The
the game,
biggest,
the bigger the performance from President. Even David Beckham, the bigger the game, the bigger the performance. That's where you find out who are the truly handling because again, it's not just about your performance, but how can you handle pressure? How do you react to setback? How do you react to things not going your way? And how do you find a way to have a decisive moment? Because again, football it comes down to decisive moments. And with Jude, I think is it. But also even with Jude and the coach, did you read about this whole situation with Jude Bellingham and Thomas Tuchel?
Alonso.
Because
No,
Thomas,
I think Tuku doesn't like him because Tuku said something in the press where
it was
some
odd.
I wonder where they say he shouldn't have said it. I think he told him in
Is
private. I think he told
no
him in
no
private,
no
but I
no.
had some
He's no.
analysts say he
It's
shouldn't have said it in public. He said something. He
and
won't be tolerate something, something. So
no.
there's how he said.
I think it was something about Thomas Tuchel's mom. Mom did not like the way Jude Bellingham does something on the pitch, and she obviously told Tuchel. And I don't know why Tuchel is then coming out to say it to the press. And I also feel there might be a translation problem in this situation
Yeah.
where something said in your native German, which it's okay, but when you translate it to English, it becomes more than it should be.
But
And
but one thing we're going for Tuchel that most managers didn't have is he has the cachet
he
when it
does,
comes
he
to England.
does.
Yeah.
No,
So he can do things and no one criticizes for now until results. You
that's
see,
the thing. So
he's always going to attack. Yeah, and he
no, because
realized he
even
has. Yeah,
no, and I feel like almost feel like that's kind of guy you need, and because as much as Southgate was, a lot of people have their opinion about the Southgate era. I think Southgate was overall a successful England manager. But I think one thing I didn't like about Southgate was he didn't have that. He didn't have that thing Tuchel has where Tuchel can say what he wants to say, make a decision, and just I made the decision for the team. That's it, fine. You don't have to appease everybody at the same time.
but
And
funny enough, you'll be surprised to hear this.
yeah,
I've criticized Southgate. I laughed at Casa. I didn't like Southgate. The main reason why I didn't like Southgate is I liked Middlesbrough growing up because
okay,
that's where Jimmy Flo Hasselbank moved to when he left
okay,
Chelsea. They had so many players with Boateng and all those. Southgate was the one that got Borough relegated, right? So I just felt he wasn't worth it. But now, funny enough, all those years while he was in England, I didn't like him. I criticized him. I didn't see anything good he has done. But right now, looking back, you'll be surprised that I will tell you that Southgate might be the best manager for Manchester United.
oh,
This is
okay,
no. I know. This is the reason. This is where I'm going to.
okay, okay, okay,
Now,
okay, okay.
the job Southgate did is underrated because this is what I feel. If you
But
look at the division,
just okay,
the
but
division, not tactically on the field. If you look at the
okay,
division England had
yeah,
before he
yeah, yeah.
stepped in, I think it's more psychological. I don't know how he got those young players to play for the shits, to
Um,
make them realize with the likes of Rashford, they all had their problem. They never had a problem in the national team. Even when he suspended some of them, I think Grealish was suspended at the time. They never had a problem with him. He's the kind of player that you'd be surprised how they respect him. Even understand. So in
but that,
essence,
but
maybe
that's international football though.
that
Like
maybe
because
because
no,
but he
okay,
made
no,
them realize they loved playing for England again, even when
yeah,
they criticized them. So that's what.
and I think a lot of the vibe a lot of people say like he made the international team feel like a club situation where a lot of people because again if you notice I think with him he always they were constant in his teams. There were very few changes to the players he was calling up because he was building that chemistry where we know each other. There's that familiarity amongst
Yeah,
the team, and it felt like a club. It felt like a club rather than an international meetup where you go for a few weeks and just go back. Where everyone were very. He built in a good environment. But again, with Southgate, this is a guy that he hasn't managed at club level, at any club level in almost more
that
than
was
10
the
years.
only one and only
So
more than 10 years. Yeah, more than 10 years,
it's probably more
close
than
to
10.
50.
And because again, like, because it's not just like a Brentford job. This is the biggest, like, United is the
I
biggest
get
job in
it.
English football. So like, it's because
But coaching appointments sometimes is not logical.
I know
When
it's true.
Coventry appointed Frank Lampard, it didn't make sense to me with what I've seen
But
with him in Chelsea.
you know what? No, okay, no, okay, no, yeah, yeah. Now I mentioned, I think I think we have to give our boy a big shout out, guys. We have to give Lampard. Lampard, he's doing that. They're doing. They started this season amazingly well. And
And I'm sure he will get promoted because the way
if if they
from
keep it up, because I was looking at our statistics. I was looking at European statistics. So do we their expected goals for and expected goals as against. If you look at the company they keep in that list, I think in the top five, it's Bayern Munich, obviously, Real Madrid, and Barcelona, Coventry, and that's it. And in that list, that top seven
Hmm.
in terms of European football, in terms of goals expected and goals expected for and against. So I think he's doing a fantastic job. But would you take Lampard for another spell at Chelsea
No,
in the future?
no,
Okay, you know what?
not in the near future. Not in the
I'm
near
I'm
future.
I'm
Three,
not
four
ruling it
years.
out.
No, 3, 4 years. I'm not ruling it out. Not in the
What
near
about
future.
what about the England job? Because
No, he can.
Tuchel
I
has
think he can. No,
Tuchel,
but to me right
Tuchel has a
now,
one.
Lampard needs a lot of time with the club. 3 more years, just concentrate on and learn more and do whatever you are doing. Don't jump
Yeah,
on any
yeah,
club
because
because
because,
one thing I like about him that he has shown me is he's resilient. Because
yeah,
the spell that for him to still have the appetite to go
he
in
still
there
has the desire to
after
coach.
what happened at Everton, after what happened at Chelsea the second season, it was so bad. I was like, who's appointing him? And he's doing a good job. Another person that is doing a very, very good job, extremely good job. That tells you that sometimes a good coach is a good coach, even when it doesn't work out. Edwards, the former coach of
Yeah,
Luton.
Rob. Yeah,
I
Rob.
noticed,
Yes,
I saw it. I've forgotten the team he is right now.
at Middlesbrough.
I
Just
think
the
Middlesbrough. And then
Middlesbrough.
Luton, the other way down. I think Luton was
They,
relegated,
yeah, they were
and
like what
he
back.
was at fault for that relegation.
So
They waited too long to fire him. I don't
no,
really know what
it
happened.
was no, but I think then but it's a tough call to make when a
Yeah,
guy has
they
taken you
came
from
up too
League 1
fast.
Championship to the Premier League. Then it's I understand, but even now in League 1, they're not having the best of time. They recently sacked their coach, and they seem to I think they are close to securing Jack Wilshere as permanent manager at Luton Town. So
Oh,
it's again, it just shows how like football, like things change quickly in football. But again, just in terms of United, like you said, it's not just they don't need the. I think the way United have gone about it, they seem to be going for the wrong guys because they make sense on paper. I think what
mhm.
United need to do, I feel it's. I don't think it's coincidental that the best. I know it's not a good. It's been bad. It's not been the best of time. But I think the better performing United coach over a good period of time has been Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Ole Constitution, yeah.
And I think there's something. I think there's something to that is not just the tactics. It's about how you understand the club, how you
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
maintain the club core principles, and how again, like this is a guy that like you struggle to find anybody that has a bad word to say about Solskjaer concerning United. He's a club legend, and it's not to say like go out and find the next club legend and give him the job, but I think like you probably think outside the box. Like if you can bring a Portuguese coach, Amorim, bring him to the country. Why not look at guys like it will sound crazy, but like a guy like Michael Carrick for the job. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's not crazy. It's not. Why would it's
it's
not crazy? Because he managed
it's
like 2 games. I get what you're trying to say.
like
After you've stabilized for 1, 2 seasons, then you think ahead for now. Because I think it's more of the mentality of the players and not the tactical, not the right way, not the this is my
of course
style.
no, no
Don't know.
I think of course tactics matter, but I think it's also just like with Amorim. I don't think where I've lost it or I've been very confused with Amorim. It's not necessarily the tactics per se. It's more about he doesn't look like a Manchester United manager.
No,
Like
it doesn't.
he looked like again. I don't know if you saw it. There was this the coach of Manchester United's women's team after the first Champions League game and they scored a penalty to win the game. He said a comment that was it looked like a dig at Amorim where they asked him, oh, like the player that was before the player was taking the penalty, were you confident? Were you? He's like, yeah, I'm very confident in my players taking penalties. I don't have to turn away and not watch it.
Yeah,
And
what to do?
that's what Amorim does. Amorim doesn't. He can't watch penalty shoot. So again, it's that situation where like you have this because again, like at United, it's not just you. And I feel like it's almost like the ghost of Ferguson, where again, just like like speaking in terms, figuratively speaking, of course, Ferguson is still alive, so not the
Mhm.
ghost, but you know what I mean. Like you, like a Manchester United manager is Fergie. Like that's the image you get.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I think I think you go for so you go for guys that can you like try and feel that mental image in your head. You get the Mourinho. Mourinho has the capacity. You go for the Van Gaals. Moyes obviously Moyes never really got, but I think it has to be somewhere more. You have to look in house, not just.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I think you have to look somewhere. You have to find that bridge where it's because now because if Amorim gets because it seems he's going to be there for the next 3 years if you believe what Sir Jim is saying. Because Sir Jim wants to give him the next 3 years, he will sort it out, everything's fine. But results need to start getting better. But I think with United, it has to be because I know you're looking at guys like De Zerbi. I don't think De Zerbi cannot manage a top club.
No.
And
His
like
temperament is just so
like
awful for a manager.
like
I
he's
think his
he's a
days are numbered at myself. I
he's a,
feel 100%.
no, he's a very good tactical coach, but he cannot manage. Because again, it's not just about coaching on the coaching training ground. It's also managing the media, managing the squad, managing. It's just so. I think with United, there has to be. I won't be mad at Mike Carrick, even a guy like what's the guy that was on Ipswich last season. I've forgotten the
Mac,
coach.
Mac, Mac,
What's his name?
not Macphillian. The
Not
Scottish name, right?
Yeah. The name escapes me. But like those, I think like those kind of guys should be on the short list. Even like again, even like it's not like even like see Chelsea with Maresca, and the more I think about it, like you say, like Maresca is basically is still learning on the job.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'll give him I give him a lot of credit because it's tough to go into Chelsea and be the head coach at Chelsea because everything's on you. Like how you communicate, how you manage situations, how you manage the press, how you manage the players. It's not just how brilliant am I tactically? Because again, you can be brilliant tactically. Like Sarri is a brilliant tactician. When it came to the other side of the like Sarri was
He's so deficient.
like it's like he lacked so many skills to be a top coach at in England. So again, it's I think Mike Carey could be a good shout, but we'll see. But before we go, let's give how do you say this? Let's put in prayers our national team when they're heading to the last game, World Cup qualification, the Nigerian football
That's
team.
just this is I don't think we can make it.
No. See, you know what? I'm not just I'm not saying anything negative. I'm just putting everything positive out there. Then we'll talk after the match day. We'll see where the chips land. If it goes our way, if it doesn't go our way, then we need to talk why.
But also, no matter what, if it goes your way, if it doesn't go your way, you have to keep this coach. The turnover is just too much.
Yeah, but I feel because I was watching the last game against Lesotho, and Nigeria went. The first half was okay. They scored the penalty and they scored another brilliant goal to make it 2-0. And it's as if the madness that descended on the goalkeeper. Literally after I went 2-0, the man if you think Sanchez is bad, this is Sanchez on steroids. Like this guy literally was trying to get that ball into the net any way possible. I could not believe what I was seeing. The goal conceded. Then there was this then he comes out in the last second of the game. He collides with the centre back. The ball just luckily just goes the other way of the post. Like again, like this is
because they say we have to beat Benin 2-0 by 2 goals.
Yeah.
And pray if South Africa loses. That is hard.
See, you know, I've followed the Nigerian team, and I know we've been on the other side of this situation where I think in 2006 was 2006 for 2006 World Cup where we missed out by goal. Is it 2006? I think 2006. We missed out on goal difference. It's possible. I think this Nigerian team they have. I think it's 2006. If I'm not mistaken.
Where Angola came to was it that World Cup?
Yeah, I think Angola.
We are always struggling for the World Cup last day. It's just there's one we nearly escaped. Tunisia. It was Amadou Shuaibu, one of the Amadou. I think even Amadou was sacked before that World Cup. I think it was against Tunisia. Tunisia came to Abuja and Tunisia drew us 2-2. We needed the last day to win. Tunisia went and lost and we qualified. It's
tough, but and also like in the past, the World Cup qualification for the African teams, it has always been very tough. But now with the expanded team, like more teams that you can.
No, it's easier now. Yeah,
it's easier, but not even. I don't say easier, but the margin for error is bigger now. You can make mistakes and still find yourself there. But I don't talk in any negatives.
I know. Let's wait till the game ends.
But I think if fingers crossed. Next time we speak, we'll be talking about Nigeria in World Cup in Trump's country. So shout out to my Nigerians who plans trying to make it to Canada and then the USA for the World Cup.
Green, white, green forever. Okay, that should be all for us today. Frank, thanks for joining me. Smash the like button, subscribe, and drop your comments. Bye.